Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of Misscliks Risen. I am the DM, Curtis Weeb, and we're going to see where exactly the events of the last episode are going to lead after shooting an innocent satyr in the ass. But you know what? Let's get to the introductions of the people who shot that poor satyr. Britt, over to you.
Hey guys, it's me, Britt Wiseman, coming to you live from sunny South Korea. It's 9 a.m. here. It's pretty weird to play D&D in the morning, but I think I recommend it. Seems like it's gonna be fun. I play Lalu Arish, a Tiefling Druid, Circle of the Moon, and I am excited to see what comes of this arrow puncturing the satyr. Danny, what's up?
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm playing Wiley, the half-orc mystic. And I'm really excited to play. Neil, are you excited to play?
I'm excited to play. I'm Neil. I play Langus Volmator. Last of his line, and you'll figure it out. Go over to Kelly.
I totally forgot that. I thought we ended off on the island, losing all our stuff, finding. I think I found a piece of sushi or sashimi. I totally forgot that we shot this satyr. I want to call it a satyr. It's not. Curtis,
Fancy word.
Say who I was. I'm Kelly Link. I play Yori Diggle. She's a halfling rogue. Curtis, please.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll get right to it then. Right after this little intro, we'll come back and we are going to meet this poor wounded son of a bitch. We'll be back after this intro. Welcome back, everyone. All right, let's dig into episode 2. Now, just a little bit of a summary in case you missed the first episode. The entire crew decided they were going to leave Chult behind, and in a rather disastrous set of events, their ship was capsized and destroyed, and they have found themselves beached essentially on unknown shore. They do not know where. They do not know where they are.
Sharks, first of all.
Well, okay, you did survive a shark attack. You did handle that quite ably. I will give you that. They escaped some sharks and got to the beach, and they've managed to survive one day on the beach. They've found a bit of food. Weirdly, Langus was able to find his armor that somehow floated to shore. It doesn't make much sense scientifically, but this is a fantasy game, after all. And at the very end, they decided, well, not everyone, but Yori and Lalu decided they wanted to go see if they could find some food supplies, track down some game. And sure enough, they did find some tracks, and they followed them, leading them to a furry ass behind a tree, which they promptly shot. And it was revealed that that furry ass belonged to a satyr who was a little nonplussed about being shot in the anus. So we're going to take from the events immediately from that moment when he looks up, stares at you, and screams in pain and says, "What the fuck?"
Does he sound like Danny DeVito?
I can't do very good impressions, so no.
Okay.
But that is what he looks like.
We'll just pretend he does.
Okay. I think just like how I am right now, Yori is speechless and isn't really doing anything, just kind of standing, trying to look as guiltless as she can.
Okay.
With a bow in hand. Lalu. She looks to Lalu.
He's kind of looking. His hands are like this. And he grabs the arrow and winces as he pulls it out. You hear this sickening kind of sound that comes out of his butt. And he's like, oh, that hurts. Oh. And he throws it on the ground. He's got a little bag next to him. You see, he does look as that picture there. He isn't carrying any pan flutes, but he's dressed very similar to that. He's got a blade at his side, but he's got large pouches all over the side of him. And he looks wounded. He looks like he's in pain. He starts to limp over. Ow, oh, God. Oh, please don't do that again. That
Excuse
really
me.
hurts.
Excuse me, my good sir. I apologize.
We're on the
Wait,
beach.
Neil, you just appear out of nowhere.
Oh, I totally forgot. I thought we were all
No.
there.
Oh yeah, no.
No, you-
Wiley and Langus are sitting on the beach sipping some nice fresh water out of a leaking barrel.
That's right.
Right. Never mind.
Very slowly too. Remember.
Yeah, very slowly.
Lalu, you have horns. He has horns. Do you know him?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know him.
Well, I didn't.
No.
I didn't know.
Now we know him.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Hi. What's your? I'm so sorry. I'm Yori. We got stranded on this island. Is there other inhabitants on this island?
How would I know?
What? You live here, right?
I do not live here. In fact, I can't figure out why I'm still here, to be honest with you. I got many things to do. This place is far too hot and humid for my liking. Ugh.
Do you know how to get to like a city?
You just shot me. I can't be certain that you're not just going to murder me and take my nice collection of mushrooms.
Well, if I wanted to murder you, I feel like I could have done that already. And the fact that I'm not continuing to murder you or hurt you is a sign of trust. I'm sorry. I don't have anything. So all of our stuff is gone. We're kind of stranded here.
Stranded here as well, eh?
Oh, as well. So you did get stranded here. When did you get stranded here? Lalu, it's a friend. We made a friend. One that we're not going to shoot anymore in the butt.
Let's not jump to conclusions here, please.
Yeah,
let's establish a bit of a rapport before we saying we're friends or allies. Maybe if I can stab you in return, then we can, eye for an eye sort of thing.
I'm gonna roll. If it's a high roll, she's gonna allow it to happen.
Okay.
Oh shit! Yep. Okay. You know what? You're right. That makes that in the code of the thieves group that I was with, an eye for an eye was one that we followed quite strongly. So I agree. Please, do you have a bow? Do you want my bow?
Well, I mean, I've got this sword, and you actually notice.
No, that's a big sword.
He also has a bow on his back as well. Now that he's kind of gotten a bit closer, you see that as well. He says, I actually don't want to hurt you. Let's be honest. I looked like game with my ass out like that.
I did.
It was my own fault.
It's a nice ass. I didn't want to say anything, but it's it was. I wanted to eat it. Never mind.
What?
Lalu.
Oh.
Not like that, Lalu. Can you save me, please? Hoof and mouth, right?
His eyes go wide.
Just stab her. How did you get stranded here? Why?
Well, you see, I was calmly tending to my own issues. You see, I was out in the woods. I'm actually from a place called Deependale, which is, I don't know where we are right now, but I'm quite a far ways away from home. And I was out mushrooming as I often do. You see, I'm a mycologist, and I was out mushrooming, and suddenly a magical aura surrounded me and pulled me to this place. And I found myself in this heated contest between a wizard and a druid. And there was a very, very disgusting fight. There was blood. There was definitely injuries and I think deaths. But you see, I'm not a fighter. I fled. I didn't want to be involved with the combat or with the contest. That's not who I am. I'm a planter. I'm a farmer. I'm a sower. I'm a creator.
Wow.
Anyway, so I don't know really. I was just pulled here. Unfortunately, I would like to go home. Do you know how I could get there?
We actually don't really know where we are, so probably not. But I guess if you have some supplies, we might be able to share and help you. Anything?
Mushrooms.
Edible mushrooms? Like good? Like
all kinds.
food mushrooms
You would
or
not
like,
believe.
what kind of mushrooms do you?
You would not believe the power of mushrooms. In fact, mushrooms can be curative. They are behind what I believe to be something called neurogenesis, which is a reframing of the mind. If you have any kind of like disabilities or illnesses, mushrooms can cure everything. Now, I could tell you all about it, but probably this is not the place to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to get shot in the ass, right?
Exactly. There could be more people like you who just shoot without really looking into things.
Yeah. So we have more friends on the beach, and I don't really want to go hunting anymore because I'm not really in the mood. So, do you want to meet them? What's your name?
My name is Paul Stamets.
Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
I feel like I want Langus to like size this guy up for me because I don't trust him, but maybe he's useful. So I agree. Yeah, Paul, just come with us, but just walk ahead of us.
But I don't know where we're going.
We'll tell you. Just I don't want you behind me. You have a knife. I'm not gonna walk in front of someone I don't know.
All right, very well. I'm a kind, gentle soul, a mushroom farmer, as I said before. And he starts to walk ahead of you.
Little to the left. Yep, turn that way. There you go.
So he continues to walk ahead, and he's whistling, very like jovial as he goes. And you can hear him muttering, "He's like, oh, it's just so hot here. Why does it have to be so hot?"
Yeah, it is hot.
I love it. This is perfect weather for me. This is great. I don't know what your problem is.
Well, I'm quite hairy, as you can see, and the more hair you have on you, the more difficult it is for your skin to breathe. Now, that's something that can actually be dealt with if you find the correct mushrooms. You can actually make pants out of mushrooms, and those pants are warm but also breathe nice. I could make a pair if you're interested by any chance.
Mushroom pants?
Yes. I make all kinds of things from mushrooms.
Okay.
I can wear some mushroom pants.
So
this small detail makes me somewhat trust him a little more.
So about 20 minutes later, you guys emerge from the tree line, and you see Langus and Wiley are sitting there drinking water on the beach, and he kind of comes out. All of a sudden, you see this satyr step out, and he stretches his back. Oh, nice ocean breeze. That's what I'm talking about. That'll cure my ass.
Excuse me, small
Hello.
fellow.
Hi.
Your friends shot me.
Are they alive?
Oh, yes, they're right there.
Hi.
Oh, no.
It was an accident. I thought he was a deer or something like that.
So are we gonna eat him or?
No.
He says he has mushrooms.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, welcome. I'm glad to be welcome to your little camp here. Nice to meet you. I am Paul Stamets. I am a mushroomer, a farmer, a creator, a giver, a sharer. And before your friend shot me, I was harvesting some mushrooms from one of the trees behind there, and I found quite a few good samples of a variety of types of mushrooms. Are you mushroomers yourselves?
No.
Nice to meet you, Paul. I'm Wiley, and this is Langus. He's in charge of the barrel of water. And I'm in charge of sitting here with him. Yeah, I really want to hear more about these mushrooms. Do you have any we can eat? Because we haven't eaten in a long time. And...
the ones that I've collected today, unfortunately, yes, you can eat them. But I'll warn you, they're a little bit potent, but they are healthy for the mind. I will tell you this, very healthy for the mind. You may feel a little bit sick to your stomach, but they will fill you up at least for the day, I would say. I have a sampling right here. I can dry them out, and we can all share them together.
Look who I'm talking to.
Okay, thank you, though.
No, we should eat them. Lingus, you're old, so you can absorb things a lot easier. We got
Excuse
a
me.
orc who she's going to be fine. I'm a halfling. We're impervious to pretty much any poison. And Lalu is a demon? No, Lala, you speak.
Don't go using the D word already.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, listen.
Look, I just don't like mushrooms.
Lalu, I'm sorry.
Have you tried all mushrooms? There are over 5 billion species of mushrooms. Did you know that?
Do you like being stabbed?
How do you know that?
I mean, I've already been shot.
Do you like being stabbed by all types of weapons?
I avoid combat when possible. You see, I am not a fighter. I am a harvester, a farmer, a caregiver.
Wonderful.
Better.
Well, if anyone wants mushrooms, please let me know. I have enough here for everyone. And if you need some supplies, well, I'm pretty sure I could take you back to the druid's home. He had a little lean-to tent sort of thing that he must have kept out there before.
Civilization? You know where civilization is?
No, I have no idea where we are. I'm sorry.
But you know that there's someone else living here, and they might know about civilization.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's living anymore.
Undeading?
No, the last when I looked over my shoulder. Sorry, you didn't hear this part of the story, Langus and Wiley. What happened was I was minding my own business, mushrooming, as you couldn't believe. I know. I was mushrooming back in the Dale lands. Have you ever heard of Deepingdale?
No.
No.
You guys can both make a, I don't know, maybe just an intelligence check, I guess.
Where's my sheet? There it is.
Ooh, not so good.
So, Wiley, you've heard for some reason, maybe some of the kids that have come through at the daycare, their parents have emigrated from there to Chult. You seem to remember the Dalelands are in the central heartlands of Farron. That is roughly 2,000 to 3,000 miles from here. It's very, very, very far, and it's on the mainland.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's quite a ways from what he says. Anyway, I digress. I was taken, magically summoned, if you will, into a combat that I wanted nothing to do with. As I said, I am not a fighter, and there was a wizard there and the druid. I guess I was supposed to be helping the druid, but I ran. I didn't want to get hurt, so I left. And when I look back, I'm pretty sure he got speared a few times by these really nasty creatures that I've been having problems with ever since. They keep trying to track me down. They're bothering me a lot. They keep trying to hurt me, possibly
What do
eat
they
me.
look like?
Are they here?
Well, they're somewhere in the jungle, yes. I keep moving closer. I guess I am closer to I can always hear the ocean. And I've been kind of migrating my way this way ever since. I've been traveling for a couple of days, you see. But I know that the druid had a shelter where he summoned me. That I believe that's where he was staying.
Creatures chasing you, please?
Yes. They haven't chased me for last day at least. I haven't seen them or heard them. They're these nasty flying little demony creatures with fiendish beady eyes, and they have these really wickedly spiky tails, and they shoot things at me with them. I haven't been hit yet. I can hide pretty well, and I can run pretty fast. I've been lucky.
Are they mosquitoes?
No, I think they're they're wizard demony creatures.
Demony mosquitoes. Got it.
And so you said it's been a day. You've been traveling.
Well, I've been traveling for a couple of days actually.
So
but it's been about a day since I've seen them. Yes.
Okay, so they're far. You haven't seen any close by.
Well, no, not in the last day. But they are quite mischievous. They could be watching us right now for all I know.
Well, maybe you could take us to this hut. Is it
yes.
near that mountain? I say, pointing to the tall mountain to the west.
Yeah, so let's pull up that map for you guys.
Ooh.
There you go. So he kind of looks off in the distance. He's like, "Oh, well, no, it's between here and the mountain." Yes.
Well, the mountain is where we're headed, so we can make a stop.
Oh, no. You don't want to go that way. I mean, if we're gonna get some supplies, that's fine, but you're gonna head towards that mountain. You're gonna run into Old Red Nasty.
What's
that? Who is that?
Well, the Red Nasty is what I've been calling. He or she. I don't know the gender, to be honest with you, but a dragon of some sort lives in that mountain. Red dragon.
Oh, no.
Thank you for the heads up, wise one.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're welcome. I mean, Yes, I mean I can lead you to the druid's shelter. There was supplies there. I mean, I can live in the jungle no problem. So I didn't think that I would need any supplies there. But if you were in need of them, I can guide you and show you the way.
Would you like some water, fresh from a barrel?
I would love some water. Interesting fact about mushrooms: you can actually take water out of mushrooms if they are fresh enough, and that water is curative, restorative, and delicious.
Thank you.
That is convenient. Thank you.
Yuri, I found that thing you were looking for. It's over there.
Oh,
Should I show
that
it to you?
thing. Yes, that thing.
Yes, come over here.
Yeah, I'm yes, right there.
Who is this person?
I've literally shot him in the ass. I don't know who he is. I thought it was food, and I figured having more people is better. We lost King, so
Yeah, I know, but he's very strange, and he likes mushrooms in an odd amount.
Look at the rest of us, though. Doesn't he kind of fit in perfectly?
Well, Wiley's strange, and Lalu's a little weird, but you and I are pretty normal.
Thanks, bud. Okay.
Mostly normal.
Yeah. No. Maybe once in our lives, but not anymore.
Okay. All right. Maybe you have a point, but
listen, he can help us. We don't really have much survivability. I know Lalu learned some from King, but we don't have the knowledge that King had, and he might give us some help.
Okay. You've sold me, but
and with a name like Paul, how can you not trust him?
He talks a lot.
That's a good thing.
Okay. Of course.
Okay, let's go. Okay, we found the thing. We found it. Thank goodness.
What thing?
Or we had it.
What thing was it?
A dowsing rod, but it didn't work, so we threw it back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are stupid.
Yeah, but we found it.
I told you that. Like you should have just.
We'll come to you next time.
With the whole group.
Very convincing. Yeah. Very.
Thanks, Paul.
No problem.
How long is it going to take us to get to the druid's hut?
Well, I know the way pretty well, so I would say that we could probably make it there in a day. In fact, if we leave right now, we should probably be able to make it there by nightfall.
What about our water barrel?
Well, there is a water supply. He's crafted some sort of small spring under the shelter. So there should be enough water. If we can have enough to get there for the day.
Oh, cool.
So,
cool.
I'd lift the barrel up and offer it to everyone to fill up before we take off.
So you have the one water skin, right?
Mm-hmm. One full water skin.
Everyone takes a drink of the water, and you have one water skin between you. This is going to be a day's journey. So you want to follow him into the jungle?
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way, but what else do we have to go on?
Wiley's really excited for a new friend.
I am ready to murder this thing at the drop of a hat if it does anything wrong. I do not trust this guy.
So you guys travel. You head into the jungle, and there's no trails here. He seems to be following a direction that he does inherently know, and it is pretty slow going. It helps that you have a guide, but the jungle is very dense here. Like you are waist kind of deep in heavy foliage, and every once in a while you have to like cut something out of your way, and you're on a little bit of a slow incline. It seems to be like low foothills before you get to the mountain, and we're just going to move you guys one circle. And
actually, Curtis, those are called hexes.
I have shape dyslexia.
Everything is a circle.
Yeah. So we're going to reveal a bit more there.
I like it.
And by about midday, you guys are just a little bit into that hex, and you're all hungry. You haven't eaten. You've been now traveling through very dense foliage. You've only really had an hour-long rest. Fatigue starts to get the better of all of you. I want everyone to make Constitution saves to see how you are faring. If you have not had anything to eat, you do it at a disadvantage.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
So Lalu and Wiley at about the midpoint, your exhaustion gets the better of you. You're hungry, you're tired. Luckily, you have a bit of water to keep your strength up a little bit. the heat is absolutely oppressive. It doesn't affect Lalu so much, but Wiley, you are feeling it a little bit.
Okay. I say, Paul, can I have a mushroom?
Oh, yes. Why don't we have a quick break? Let's all sit down. I can break out some mushrooms. We can all have something to eat. It'll be more than enough to get all of your strength up to get us all the way to the shelter.
While you guys eat these mushrooms, I'm feeling pretty good off that piece of sashimi. I'm going to go see if I can actually hunt some game.
All right. Why don't you... so you're going to head off into the jungle?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
going to go with her.
Okay.
I don't want those mushrooms.
Any more butts, okay?
So you are... right now, Lalu, you are exhausted. So you'll be facing disadvantage to everything that you do.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know if you should... You might actually hinder me.
Fine, I'll stay here, but I'm not eating those mushrooms until I see that my friends are okay.
Okay.
Did Lisa eat mushrooms? Didn't she live off the land?
I lived off the land, but I didn't just take mushrooms from a stranger.
Wiley, are you going to accept this gift of... all right.
Gonna eat it.
So he hands them...
You want to eat that?
Hands them over to you. They are all kind of laid out. He's got them in these like really like very fine, almost silken cloths. And he opens it up and he kind of rubs them a little bit. And he just takes a handful and puts them into your palm. And he says, now, if you've never taken these before, they are going to have a little bit of an effect. You will feel full. And I would like you to really think about the things in your life that you feel are holding you back. This could be an amazing experience for you. So as you take them, I want you to think about an area that you feel that could just use some improvement in your life. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So he goes.
I look at Lalu and just shake my head back and forth.
I'm like,
Yori's in a full sprint running away by now. He's trying to get out of there.
All right, so do you take them?
Oh
I'm
God!
hungry, so I just
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Maybe you'll be fine.
Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna die.
Okay.
The half orc is gonna kill us all.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
So you eat them, and oh man, you do feel really full. And he does kind of look at you, and he's like, "You don't feel sick, do you? Or do you feel okay?" Oh, that's good. That's good. He's like, "Now, just really think about what I told you to think about, okay?" And he leans back and he takes a couple himself. He's like, I'm just gonna go away for a little while. And he leans back, he leans up against a tree and just is kind of like humming. What is Wiley thinking about when she all of a sudden starts to feel this very strong sense of euphoria come over her?
She's thinking about how happy she is that she's got people in her life again, because it's been a while, and she's like really focusing on all of these people that are around her and like trying to tap into their motivations and why they act the way they do and how they feel about everything, and just like melding with their brains.
Okay. And what the one thing he wanted you to think about as those feelings kind of start going through, you start to feel really happy and positive. What are some of the things that you think are weaknesses for you, and what would you like to work on and be better at in your life?
Wiley really wants to control her emotions and just learn about, just gain as much knowledge as she can about controlling emotions in different situations. And because when she was a child, she was a half orc, so her preteens were violent, and she thought she was jealous of other children who got so she knows that like some of those emotions aren't helpful in one's life, and really trying to figure out when to embrace an emotion and when to push one away.
Okay. What are the two of you doing as you see Wiley and Paul just kind of slowly slink into the foliage?
Breathe a sigh of relief. Oh my God.
Do they leave any mushrooms behind?
They're still in his hand. Like he's got that silk cloth that's still in his hand.
Can I grab a couple of them to look at them and see if I recognize them at all?
Sure.
Yeah, I want to do that and see if I can figure out what these are.
Sure.
So I'm going to do that. Should I roll? Let's see. Should I roll like nature?
This would be a nature check. Yep.
Yeah.
You have no idea what these are.
No.
Yeah. You just don't have a clue. These are very new looking. I mean, you've seen them lots before in your time in jungles and forests all over the place, but this is a brand new species to you. I don't know what it
is there any, can I try and see if there's anything else I can eat around me that's like plant-based? Try and find some food that is not the mushrooms, because I'm hungry and I need to eat, but I want to try not to eat the mushrooms.
I'll get both Lalu and Yori to make survival checks, please.
Okay.
So that wasn't with a disadvantage, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yori, you search around for tracks for, you're not sure, maybe an hour. You don't want to go, I'm assuming, too far from the camp, right?
No. So
you go maybe 300 feet out in a circle all the way around it, just searching. You don't seem to find anything. It's a lot harder than it looks to find tracks. Lalu, you do manage to find about 150 feet away. You find a fruit tree. You find these bright kind of yellow, like they're circular, and they are kind of growing out of the branches near about the top of the tree. So they're about 40 feet up. They're pretty high. But you see them up there.
Do I know what they are?
You can make a nature check on that.
Okay. Let's see. Please let me know what these are.
All right.
It's okay.
You have a decent idea. You think that these are Kogan fruits, and they are very bitter, but they're not harmful. They don't have great taste, but you remember, what was the name of the druid you traveled with?
Ziza.
She told you that if you were ever in a pinch, that it would be enough to get you through the day, but any more than like one, you're going to start to feel really sick to your stomach just from how heavy they are.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try and climb this tree and get a Kogan fruit.
All right. Make an athletics check with disadvantage.
Let's see. Oh. Oh.
12. All right. So you slowly, very slowly shimmy your way up this tree. Langus, you look over and you see Lalu just painfully climbing up this large jungle tree. It's painful watching her because it's taking so long.
Like sloth.
You're like, she's a sloth in it. She's definitely a sloth.
To be honest, this is kind of nice. Yeah, like two of them are clearly out of it and not doing anything. Yori's off hunting. Lalu is slowly climbing a tree. Like, I have a moment to myself finally. I have no responsibilities. Let them just kind of waste their time.
All right. So eventually, Lalu, you come back. You manage to get 4 of these fruits in your arms. They're pretty big. But it's definitely enough to feed each of one of those is probably enough to feed 2 people. So write down 4 Kogan fruit.
Cool. Well, I should write down 3 because I want to just share my first one with Langus if he wants it.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So you guys each share a piece of this fruit and eat it as eventually Yori comes back into camp empty-handed.
There's nothing here. What kind of island doesn't have birds or dragons?
You want a Kogan fruit?
What is that? Please?
I chop it in half and give her half of it.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
I'm sorry about.
It's not going to taste good, so don't thank me.
Fine. Sorry about the demon comment. I know you're a tiefling. I was just frustrated and said an ignorant thing, and I apologize.
Fine, I appreciate it. I don't care.
Okay, good. I don't care either. Yeah, why'd I even bring it up? Okay.
Like, not into friendship yet. I like turn around and kind of smile, like, oh, nice. I don't want her to see.
So as you guys converse and you eat the fruit, the Kogan fruit, and about as you're finishing up, about 2 hours later, all of a sudden, Wiley, you start to come to, and you feel weirdly like just a better self-confidence about yourself. You feel more kind of in touch with who you are, more at peace with who you are, which is, something you've always struggled with. And you also, as you kind of sit up, you see Paul also kind of sits up slowly and he stretches his back. He just looks like he's had a wonderful couple of hours. Wiley, you have 2 points of wisdom increase permanently.
Whoa!
That's awesome.
Dang.
It's so appropriate for a psychic.
Yeah. Okay. I'm changing. Okay, I think that worked.
All right.
Well, yeah. I look at everybody and I'm like, I love you guys. And then I'm disappointed that they all just said nothing.
Yeah, there's this awkward pause in the air. And then Paul looks across and he's like, I love you too, Wiley.
I hug him. I like throw myself and just hug him. And like probably hurt him a little bit, but
yeah, I mean he's kind of grunting. Oh.
I ease off. I'm like, oh, sorry, buddy.
No worries. Speaking of which, would any of you by any chance be able to heal my ass? It still hurts. In fact, it's really aching now that I've been traveling for half a day.
Malu?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll just cast Cure Wounds on him.
All right, go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so it says touch, so you put your hand on the ass wound and slowly channel the power of nature and heal it a little bit. She did do 15 points of damage, so there's still, you can see the wound closes over, but there's a lot of bruising underneath his ass fur. Some of the hair got ripped out when he pulled the arrow out. That's going to take some time to heal, but at least you should be able to walk without much discomfort.
Yeah, so I put my hand on his butt and I heal him, and then I'm like, and that's good enough, you're fine. All right. And I walk away.
All right. So he stands up and he's like, well, shall we continue on with the journey? I'm feeling rested and enlightened, in touch with nature again.
Yeah!
Nature, sure. In touch with nature.
I just start marching.
All right. So you start to gather up all your things and head into the jungle further. And he just leads the way, and he seems very happy and peaceful. He moves with just kind of this like really joyful gait, even though he's kind of moving through heavy foliage. And he says, I think I could probably get used to a place like this if I had friends like you at my side.
Oh, now we just need to find you a cave that's cool for your mushrooms.
Oh, that would be nice. Have you seen any caves since you've been here?
We have not. We've been a little preoccupied with finding civilization.
Oh, yes. I can see that would be pretty important to people like you who probably are terrified to be outside of a city.
I'm terrified. Just uncomfortable.
I was mostly speaking of the bearded one here. He seems like he's a little uncomfortable. He's wearing heavy armor, which is quite strange to be in the heat that we're facing out here.
Hey, listen. He just doesn't have his fan, all right? And he's fine. He just needs his fan. Why don't you back
up? You could make a fan out of mushrooms. I could do that for you, my good friend.
Yes, would you please make me a mushroom fan?
I would definitely do that for you.
Yes.
We are friends, are we not?
Langus, that's so nice of him. I can't believe he's.
It is incredibly nice of you, Paul. Thank you. So cool. Thank you.
But you never answered we are friends, right?
Over here.
We're friends?
Yeah. Friends.
Okay.
Lolo, that thing you wanted, it's right over here. Would you come get
Dowsing
it?
rods
Yeah.
don't work.
I forgot about that. Let's go get the.
This is a magic rock, not a dowsing rod.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I go with Linus.
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Why are you saying that you're his friend?
I don't want to set him off. What do we do?
I mean, I think we have to let him bring us to the house, and then we
What
need
if
to
it's a
find
murder
way to
house?
get rid of him. Then we'll murder him and everyone else there.
Okay.
There might be supplies there. I do not
Okay.
trust this thing.
All right. I need someone to be on the same page as me.
It's worth it to go to the house because we need supplies desperately.
Okay, sure.
So we should go, but we should not become friends with him.
Okay.
While you two have been away, I've become fast friends with Yori and Wiley.
You know, I'm a bit hairy. He's a bit hairy. I feel like we have that connection. How tall is he?
He's about 5'10", 5'11".
Okay, so he's quite tall. He's
a pretty big guy, yeah.
But still, the hairiness we connect with.
Yeah, and he definitely, like, he doesn't hide it. He doesn't wear pants over that, and he says he could have made mushroom pants, so he's obviously proud of his body hair.
As one should be.
So he kind of continues to lead you guys on as you rejoin the rest of the group through your really difficult trudge through this jungle. In fact, you're now very thirsty. You've used up your water skin just to get now. As the sun kind of starts to set over the canopy of the jungle, you're starting to be fatigued again. Not so much hungry, maybe a little bit, but the thirst from the heat and the sweating that you've had, especially you, Langus, you're wearing heavier armor.
Oh my God, it's so hot. It's so hot.
Yeah, it's not great.
Hey, Langus, maybe you could suck on one of those watery mushrooms.
No,
yes,
thank
I have
you.
quite a few.
No, I'm okay.
Sure. Maybe, Paul, do you have any alternative liquids, such as maybe like a kombucha or something that won't hurt?
I have water and I don't need mushrooms. I'm okay. Thank you, though. Thank you, Wiley.
He looks back. Langus, you seem like a man who's seen a few battles.
Yes.
Now, as I told you, I am not a satyr that has seen battles. I've seen them, but I run away from them. Would you have any use for this sword? And he pulls the short sword off of his belt. I have it simply to protect myself in the woods, but to be honest, I never use it. I usually don't need to defend myself against animals because animals really like me.
Are you offering to gift me your short sword?
Well, yes, that's what friends do. You put much better use than I would.
I take a look over my shoulder at Lalu. Okay. Friends give each other weapons, of course. Would you like this club? It's just a branch I picked up earlier today, but you could have it.
He takes a look at it. I'm going to make him roll a perception. Oh, would you look at that? You've got some spores inside of this branch that could potentially grow into full mushrooms. This is amazing. Thank you, friend. What a beautiful gift. You understand me so well.
Of course, here. And I give him my club.
What a prized possession. I will carry this with me until my dying days. Thank you, Langus.
You should. It's a D6 damage club instead of a D4 damage club. They're hard to find.
I don't know what that means, but I will accept it anyway.
Look, we're all getting along here.
So he continues. He's like, well, I'm gonna waste no more time. It was a thought that I had. You seemed like a man of war, and a man of war should have a weapon of war. That's what I always say. And he continues on up the path. So you continue on through the jungle, and eventually, as you're going up this very slow incline, you see there's just a plateau. It's still heavily like jungle and foliage. Each of you guys could make a perception check as you slowly crest the top of this little plateau. All right, so everyone but Langus. As you come up over this ridge and you kind of peer above some kind of like waist level, some areas knee level foliage. For you, Yara, you kind of have to push some of it down and pull yourself up to take a look above the dense foliage here in the jungle. You can just barely in the distance. It looks like there was some kind of small shelter here, but it looks like it has been completely trashed. There's pieces of it all over. It was made out of the natural foliage of the jungle around it, leaves and branches and such, but it's been dashed. And there are two things, you can't quite make out what they are, wandering around near there, making really weird kind of like skittering noises. They're nattering back and forth at each other in a language that you don't understand. What languages actually do you guys speak, the three of you? Langus doesn't hear this.
Langus is too busy trying to fan himself with his new sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible idea.
I speak
And
common and what is it? I'm trying to remember now. It's common and the one infernal. Sorry.
I have common, orc, and dwarven.
All right, so none of you understand. Well, actually, Lalu, you understand. They have this weird clicking, hissing language, and you're like, that's infernal. You recognize what they're saying. One of them is kind of like, we dashed that up real good. It was worth the 3 hours we spent here. Oh, I'm tired. This is the best time we've ever had. Hey, when are we going to get to go home? I don't know, Clarence. Just keep smashing.
Clarence.
I turn to the rest of the group and relay this information to them.
And then at that point, you see Paul. He's like, oh, bother. It's those two creatures that have been following me around everywhere.
What are they?
I told you, they're weird, wizardy devil things.
They're the demon mosquitoes, remember?
Yeah, I think they're friends with that wizard.
oh, well, if they're friends, why would they destroy it?
Well, they're friends with the wizard, not the druid. This is the druid's shelter.
So they killed the druid then?
What are you all talking about?
Langus, just how's your sword? Is it pretty? Your face. Anyway, Lalu, what's the other one's name? One's Clarence, right? Did you
Yeah,
catch
one.
his name?
Did I, Curtis?
No, that one didn't say
I didn't
anything
catch
yet.
the other one's name. I didn't catch the other one. There's two of them. They killed a druid, which I take personal offense to.
They
So,
killed the druid?
How far away are these?
didn't they?
Well, let's show you.
Isn't that the druid that they killed? I guess I should ask Paul to make sure, but it sounds like he has confirmed this.
Sorry, just 1 second here.
I thought they just ransacked the place.
Yeah, so I'll show you. This is the map here. That's kind of what you see. Where they are is you can see there's a bunch of ruins around there. There was a lean-to shelter that they're still kind of kicking around. Each of those squares is 5 feet, so they're pretty close. Like you managed to get within a pretty close range of them, but they haven't seemed to notice because they're making a lot of noise, smashing stuff up. They're about 60 feet away.
Oh. Okay.
50 feet away.
50 feet away. Okay. Okay.
Paul's like, well, there was supplies there. I don't know if there is anymore. They're real mean. They like to wreck things and hurt people.
Are they intelligent speaking creatures?
I don't know. I haven't tried to have a conversation. Every time I see them, they try to murder me.
They sound like idiots.
I don't know. Like I said, I've really, my only association with them has been running in terror.
But they're not dumb beasts.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I mean, they were with the wizard when I kind of poofed into existence here. And he seemed to be working with them, with these creatures.
So do you work with the wizard?
Me?
If the
No,
wizard created you.
No. The druid brought me here from my home. He used some kind of spell.
Okay.
And the druid is where now?
Oh, I think he's dead. I don't know
Dead.
what it is. His body's probably around here somewhere.
Are you saying the druid summoned you?
Yes.
Like with the summon creatures spell?
Yes, I believe that would be what he did.
And are you not under the thrall of that druid still?
I don't understand what's happened. I've heard some of my friends this has happened to. It's very strange. Can you imagine a spell that can just call you, for it doesn't matter what you're up to, what you're doing, can just call you to a different existence, and you just have to do what they say? How would you feel about that, Bengus? Probably not very good.
No, not at all. You're not doing what the druid says now, though, are you?
Well, I didn't want to fight. No.
Hey,
I thought you
Paul.
were forced to by the spell. No?
Well, I was stronger than the spell. I ran away.
So you know they killed the druid, right?
I
Or you
assume
think-
that they did,
You
yes.
think- okay. You haven't seen him or anything.
No, this is the
Alright.
first I've been back since the whole ordeal took place a few days ago.
Okay.
I don't understand why I'm still here. My friends who have had that happen to them, and it's happened on more than one occasion, I might add, they've said that they just come back home after about an hour of terrifying violence. I don't see what's so funny about that, Lengus. It's quite scary. Imagine for a moment, Lengus, that you were sitting at home, taking a poop, for instance, and suddenly you find yourself in the middle of a battlefield and people are trying to kill you. It's very scary.
I can imagine it would be. But also the thought of a small community that this frequently happens to is somehow amusing to me.
Well, wait till it's your community. You might feel a bit differently.
I'm sure I would. I didn't mean to laugh at your misfortune.
So he kind of crosses his arms a little bit. He seems a little bit perturbed by that you see comedy in this, and he kind of shuts up for a couple of seconds. And just give me a second here.
Well, maybe we should hack our way through these beasts, get to the druid's building, and see if there's anything left of it.
Are we outfitted to hack our way through anything right now?
I have a sword, a shield, and armor.
I have
Okay,
a
well, are you gonna take care of both of them?
Well, she's got a bow, and she's got spells, and I don't know exactly what you do. You play with dolls?
No.
As you guys are having this lengthy conversation, all of you, they rolled 4, notice that these creatures have started to move towards you. They're trying to move stealthily. They're like this as they move forward. And you spot them before they really get the jump on you.
Lingus draws the sword and nods with a bit of a grin on his face. Finally, something that I understand. Finally, there's something that I know what to do here.
Can I roll to see what Paul's intentions are?
You want to make an intuition with him?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure. Go ahead.
Let's see. Was that the insight?
That's an insight roll. You just get the sense that he's as perturbed to be here as you are. What his actual intentions beyond that are, you don't really know. He doesn't seem like he really wants to be here. And as you kind of look at him, that's when you all turn and notice that these two are kind of trying to go around either side of you and sneaking up on you. And you all notice as they kind of, their wings flap and they take off up into the air and start flying at full speed towards you. When we come back from our quick break, we are going to roll initiative and see what happens with these monstrous bastards.
Yay.
All right.
All right, so welcome back, everyone. Thanks for being patient while we got watered up and coffeed up in some cases. We left off with the group has found this mushroomer named Paul Stamets, the satyr, and he has led them back to a place where he says he was summoned by a druid to fight alongside, but he chose not to and just ran away. And now he's been stuck here for some reason. He can't figure out why he hasn't been poofed magically back to his homeland in Deependale. But meanwhile, while leading them back to the druid shelter, they have found themselves encountered with these two devil creatures that Paul Stamets did warn them about, that they have been lingering around here and were fighting alongside a wizard the last he knew. And that's when they heard them having quite a lengthy conversation about the home and magic. And the creatures flew up into the air and are currently setting upon our worthy adventurers. So let's everyone roll initiative, please.
Whoop.
Whoa. So
Oh my god.
17.08.
Oops. Forgot to select my person.
Oh, I didn't do that. Lol.
I have to take off all these old ones. How do you? Oh god.
Sorry.
Now I roll.
I'm gonna take out, and also there's a lot of reef sharks apparently around here as well.
Okay. I want to add that I have.
Okay, good.
I have Inspiring Aura, which means every ally within 30 feet of me gains +2 to initiative.
Nice.
Oh.
So I don't know how to do that in the game, but if you'd like to mentally bump everybody up to 2.
Yeah, I guess I can manually. So that would put, well, it's kind of the same actually. I
mean, since we're
all
it's
actually it actually doesn't affect anything because Lalu would go up by 2. So
yeah.
All right, so let's Yori, you see them flying directly at you. What do you do?
I shoot my trusty bow.
All right, take a shot, please. Which one are you shooting, by the way?
I guess the one that's closest. So
Okay.
this one.
For sure.
That's a pretty good hit.
All right, yeah. Holy, so is that sneak attack? Is that 8 total?
I think so. That would be if I
if you get sneak attack.
Yeah. You know, if I get the advantage, it would be with the pluses as well. With sneak attack, it's if someone is in front of me within 5 feet. I don't think someone is within 5 feet of the monster though, so no. I don't think it's just if someone's in front of me, so I don't get it. So it's just 7.
All right. So 8 total damage. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Or no, just 7 damage because I don't get the sneak attack.
Oh, you get the. Oh yeah, you're right. That +1. Okay, you're right.
Neil, rules guy. You're muted.
No, you get your +4 for your dex. That's right. So it's 7, just 7.
Yeah, okay. Just 7.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do some math with my congested head. All right, there we go. 15. All right, so you take your shot and you actually hit it as it flaps straight up into the air. It goes up about 5 feet and you graze him right through the leathery left arm, and you hear him screech in the distance in pain. And he continues to fly up into the air. He's hurt, but he is not down, obviously.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, I forgot that they have.
With my extra move, I want to hide, so that I will get advantage on my next attack.
Sure. Make a stealth check.
Ooh.
You're staying exactly where you are?
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm just gonna hide in a thicket that's close by.
Sure. All right. So you just kind of dive. You take a shot and dive. It hits him, and he kind of flaps a little bit and squawks. And yeah, he doesn't seem too fazed by it. Next is Langus.
These guys are in the air.
They're just taking off. So they're about 5 feet in the air right now, which means they're still in reach of you.
So Langus is going to huff and puff and pseudo charge at one of these guys.
Okay.
As fast as his stubby little legs will carry him. And then take a shot with his short sword. And I don't want to use any of these. Okay, so I'll just do a normal short sword attack. For 11 to hit.
Okay, so you charge up and swing, and it just pushes a huge gust of wind against you, and it lunges back with the flap of its wings, and it goes further up into your, and you just swing, missing its chest by a few inches.
All right, then I will action surge and use my lunging attack, which allows me to increase my melee reach by 5.
Oh, nice. All right.
And I will lunge at this creature with the short sword for 13 to hit.
That is a hit. As he kind of lurches up into the air, you chop at the base of his feet.
Ooh,
Nice.
16 total.
Ooh.
8 from my normal attack, 8 from the lunging attack.
Okay. All right, so you slash at his legs, and it's a nice clean hit. And you notice, though, as you're this close now, you slash at him, and that blade, you think it cuts down to the bone, but it seems to like almost heal up very quickly afterwards. He seems to have a resistance to your weapon. He screeches and flies up into the air. All right, next is this guy who you just charged. He flies further up into the air. He's now about 30 feet in the air, and he turns, and his tail spins, and he whips it straight down at you. And these giant not flaming, but you can see steam coming off of them. They're black obsidian tail spines, and he is going to hit you.
I do not like the sound of this.
Ooh.
The first one is 11.
That is definitely not going to do it.
It just hits the ground like right in front of you, and you hear this as it hits the ground. It burns all the leaves and all the foliage around the ground where it hits.
Oh dear
Second
God.
one can't get to you. It just goes straight behind you. You have one hit right in front and one hit straight behind you, and you can hear the searing heat of it behind you. Doesn't hit, but he continues, and he flies over here. This one flies straight overhead. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And he's up in the air. He's about 10 feet up. He's not super high. He just flies straight forward and looks down, and he does that same tail whip, but he kind of keeps arcing it, and he shoots one at both Wiley and one at Lalu. First one on Lalu.
Oh my God.
It hits you hard for 8 points of damage.
Oh God.
Hits you kind of like it pierces the right side of your lower abdomen and just cuts through, and you feel the searing burn as it's still stuck in your body. And Wiley, you have one being shot at you as well. It doesn't even get close. It just sails over your head and hits a tree. It impacts the tree right behind you, and you hear it burning into the tree. The tree kind of starts smoking, and little bits of fire and ash start to kind of rise up out of the tree. That is their actions.
Turns around and like realizes what happened and goes like, "Ah, that was so mean." And she's
All
really
right,
upset now.
Lalu.
Can you adjust my initiative real quick? I originally rolled a 3, so I want to make sure
You rolled a
fairly.
3?
I rolled a 3, and I forgot to click on my token.
Okay, so what is it? What is it right now?
So right now it's at, oh, there we go. Now it's fixed. Yeah, it's at a 3 now.
Be a 5 though with the plus.
Oh,
2
I guess
from-
it's a 5 with, yeah.
Okay, all right, 5. And there's Langus twice on here for some reason.
He's not
The
special.
1908 is me.
Okay, that must be from the old one.
Mm-hmm.
This is very confusing. There's lots of crazy numbers on here. What did you roll for yours, Wiley? Your
10?
initiative? 10? Okay, so there's another old one here too. And there's 2 Lalus for some. I don't know why it's showing up like this. It's very strange. I think I'm getting weirdly doubled on here. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's like the initiative from the last
Yeah, I didn't
episode
clear it.
didn't loop clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So it's a little bit all over the place, but we'll get it figured out. So, all right. So yeah, Wiley, I guess you are up. Is that right? Yes. Wiley's up, not
Okay.
Lalu.
Cool. I would like to, I'm really upset, so I want to make him really upset. And so I'm going to do Crowned in Sorrow, which means he needs to make, the one that's like right above me,
Okay.
needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Sure.
I think my spell save DC is 13.
Okay.
Eh.
He does make his save, I'm assuming, with a 17.
Yeah. And then I'm using 3 psi points, so I need to roll a 3. How do I roll? Let me. I don't have the little buttons like everybody else does. But
There's a little dice roller, like a dice symbol on your toolbar on the left side. It looks like a D20.
Oh, there it is.
And then you can just do custom dice rolls.
Oh goodness, this is cool. 3.
You can also just type /roll, then like D20 plus 4.
/roll. That's the one that I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
Plus. Okay, so he's gonna take half of this, whatever it is. So 5. He takes 5.
Okay, 5 damage. And so what is that? How does that manifest? Like, what does that look like exactly?
Crowned in sorrow. So I'm basically just hitting him with like psychic sadness.
Okay.
That hurts him psychically. Like there is no visual aspect to it at all.
All right.
I don't have to make any hand motions or anything. I just think it and he hurts.
All right. So you just look up at him and he's laughing and cackling maniacally, and then all of a sudden you just see him go, ah! He grabs his head and his whole body starts tremoring and he drops a couple of feet as he seems to be able to lose his concentration on flying. And he's now only about 6 feet above you. Like his feet are pretty much right above your head. In fact, they're within reach of your hands because you're so tall. But that is your action.
Can I use a bonus action and just like grab onto his leg?
That'd be a full action to grab.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No.
Lalu.
Yeah. Let's see. I think first, I believe I can do this. So Neil, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that I can both turn into a brown bear and as an action, bonus action, and then cast Moonbeam from the sky. Yes.
As long as Moonbeam is not a bonus action as well.
No, it should be a full action.
And you can cast in animal form?
I should be able to, I believe that I'm able to maintain concentration even when I'm an animal form.
I think you can maintain, there's no rule about concentration that I've seen that says you lose concentration when you shit. But you can't cast when in animal form.
Yeah, I want to cast Moonbeam first and then use my bonus action to turn into a bear. So I'm gonna cast Moonbeam first.
Okay.
Click that thing.
So let's do a little, or I'll draw something here for you. Let's see here. Freehand. Draw a shape. So would you want to cast it on the one that's right next to you?
No, I want to cast it on the one that's far away.
Okay.
So that no one is in damage radius. Hold on. I'm clicking it and it's not working, so let me just see.
Might just take a second.
Yeah, it might. I cast it like 3 times, so.
Oh.
I can do it manually too, though.
Yeah, let's just
so
do it manually.
Let me just do it manually. Let me pull it up.
Is it like it's a damage thing, or it doesn't take effect until his next turn, like his action, right?
Yeah, it doesn't take effect until the creature has to start their turn inside of they take damage when they start their turn inside the Moonbeam.
Okay.
Or if they enter it. So yeah, I can wait till it's their turn to cast that.
Okay, so that white ring is the Moonbeam.
Cool. Yeah, so he'll be right underneath it. And then I'm gonna turn into a bear. So let me just morph into a bear real quick.
See if
a brown bear to be exact.
Pretty sure we have a brown bear here. There you go.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that my brown bear is tall enough, if that thing has not flown away yet, to reach it and grab it where it couldn't be reached before. So can I?
Yeah, you're pretty tall as a brown bear.
I'm hoping. So I think there's two rolls on this one. So there's bite and claw. I think I make bite first. So that one, it looks like should be it says 1d20 plus 5, 1d8 plus 4. So I'm assuming I roll 1d20
Sure.
5 first.
That is a hit.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, it's 1d8. I wish it was 1d20. More damage.
Wow, max damage. All right, so
Nice. Good job.
12.
Yeah. And
So
then-
you reach up, going back on all four paws. Now, like, there's a bear that appears right in front of you, Wiley. Just she turns into it, and immediately standing straight up, grabbing him by the leg and just raking these giant claws across his back, pulling on him a little bit. And she kind of lets go as she rakes this deep wound into him. And he screeches and howls and flaps his wings and tries to take off a little bit again, but he's pretty disoriented right now.
And then can I claw him as well?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, you bite him first. Yeah, you grab and bite into his calf leg, and then you can make your slash attack as well.
Okay. And then the claw attack is 1d20 plus 5.
That's a hit.
And the damage is 2d6 plus 4. Yes.
Jeez.
Ah!
All right, so
Bear action.
you claw him, you bite his leg, and kind of tear a little piece of meat out of it, and then slash as he flies up out of your reach. You slash him at the back of the ankle, and he kind of gets out of your reach a little bit. Top of the order, Langus.
Okay. Langus is gonna come around the. Yeah, he's gonna come this way, like that.
Okay.
So he's positioned next to his allies. And is this guy within 5 feet of me right here? Or do I have to use a lunging attack to reach him?
He's about 10 feet up in the air. So
There we go. I will lunging attack to increase my range by 5.
All right.
And make a, that's the wrong button. It's not the right button. I'm going to make a short sword attack, which is a miss.
All right, so you swing wildly at him, and everyone's kind of around him. This bear is like batting him and biting him, and you try to get in there with one swoop, and he's just out of range as he flies up into the air.
It's all right. I'm here next to my friends now. It'll be fine. We're good.
All right, Yori.
I'm going to use my bow again.
All right. He's obviously in range of you. You got a ranged weapon. Go for it.
And this is the one that's been taking all the damage besides shooting, right?
Yes. He's very badly hurt as he tries to fly away.
Ooh. And I guess it's with advantage, so I get I have the sneak attack because I was hiding, so it's.
That's right. Yeah. So you do 13 damage. So you pop up out of this dense foliage. Just your little head and your bow pop up from this giant fern plant, and you just hear the whistle of an arrow, and it goes right through the bottom of his chin, out the top of his skull.
Ooh.
And he flaps for a couple of seconds and then just goes into a nosedive and crumples and hits the ground and goes absolutely quiet.
And without much reaction, she crouches down again and hides.
All right, go ahead. Make a
I
stealth
know there's
check.
someone in front of me, but she kind of thought it was really cool to pop out, shoot someone, and then crouch back down.
All right. So you get back under that same fern and move maybe a little bit of ways away, but you're still in the same vicinity. The Spine Devil is going to go now. He immediately has to make a saving throw because of that moonbeam. What kind of saving throw is it?
Let's see. It is looks like it's radiant damage, DC 13. Damage is 2d10.
Was it like a wisdom saving throw? Charisma?
It's a. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Constitution.
Constitution. Gets 9. He does not succeed.
All right. So I should roll the 2d10 damage on him, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Got it. What? Is that right?
Nice.
All of a sudden, as he's like flying up in the air, it looks like he's about to start spinning his tail again. He sees this light because it's dark. It's just starting to get dark now. He sees this brilliant light just explode above him, and he gets enveloped, and you just hear and just bits of like kind of black obsidian flesh just melt away, and you can see an explosion of ash go outward in all directions, and you hear it just go and he explodes, and the moonbeam just dissipates, and there's absolutely nothing left.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. I don't think I've ever rolled that high with a moonbeam before.
That is great.
Well played.
And it was magical damage, so you couldn't resist it.
I just do a bear
Wiley
celebration.
like pets you on the butt or whatever part of you is nearest to me. I'm like, good job. I pet you
in
like a
my
dog.
ecstatic victory feelings, I actually am okay with this. And I like wave to her with my bear paw.
All right,
I'm
so
overjoyed.
you hear Paul. He's like, oh, that was just over so quick. I just couldn't even do anything. Wow, that's quite fortunate. I didn't want to get involved, but you made quick work of those two monstrous little demons. I couldn't have done it on my own. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Paul. Now, would you show us the rest of the way?
Oh yes, it's just up here. As you can see, they've mostly smashed it to pieces, but there could be something still salvageable there. And so he kind of saunters up and goes to the plateau and walks over to where those spined creatures were. And yeah, sure enough, there is a lean-to that has been completely demolished, but he kind of starts like rooting around a bit, and he's kicking away with his hooves at the ground. And he's like, oh yes, here's the spring. And he kicks a bunch of dirt out of the way, and this spring just starts flowing up out of the ground. Like this magical little water spring.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, here's the water. I found the water. Seems like lots of the supplies have been damaged, but seems like maybe they've taken them or they've destroyed them just out of their sheer wickedness. I can't tell, but feel free to take a look around. But this is the shelter, what is left of it.
I kind of kick some of it apart with my foot. Does it look like there's anything useful in here aside from potable water?
It's just a lot of heavy foliage. You can make an investigation check.
Can I check the non-incinerated winged beast?
Sure.
Is that also a investigation?
What are you looking for?
Just any objects that they might have stolen. Obviously, they're like monstrous creatures. So if they're
okay, sure.
I'll assist her because I have bear skills.
Okay.
Wiley like goes into the little lean-to and just kind of sits there and like enjoys it.
Yeah, just there's a few branches still left of the lean-to. It's barely standing. Mostly been knocked over. So Langus, you just kind of search around a little bit. You don't seem to see anything immediately, but there's a fairly large tree that this thing had been crafted up, this lean-to that had been crafted against. And as you're kind of searching around, you feel like the ground underneath its very heavy roots seems softer than everything else around it.
Softer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna poke. Is Lalu still a bear?
Yep.
Yes.
Lalu, you have digging claws. Can you smell? Is there something in the ground here? It's soft, suspiciously soft.
I trundle over like a big bear.
Look
like
how
try to gently claw it. I'm trying not to destroy anything, so gently like claw it, like smell it.
All right, make a. I guess this would be a perception roll.
Okay.
And if bears have a bonus to like sniffing and stuff, I think they get advantage.
Okay,
I'll for scent.
I'll check. Real quick. Let me see. Brown bear. The bear has advantage on perception checks that rely on smell. Yes.
Yeah, which didn't help you anyway.
Oh God, I didn't see the roll. I was on the other SRG.
Yeah, you sniff around a little bit. You can't get a sense of what's here, but there is definitely another scent on the air that's blocking out whatever it is that Langus is trying to point out to you. It's coming from somewhere a little bit further up the plateau. It's strong. You only picked it up because you're a bear. It's a very strong, decaying smell.
And I go, and I kind of start walking towards it to tell them we need to go check out this weird, gross smell.
All right, so all of a sudden,
Tell
Lalu in
Angus
bear
to come with
form
me.
just starts walking further into the jungle.
I start following Lalu, not exactly sure what's going on here, but giving a cry over my shoulder, guys! This way!
Is everyone going?
Kelly, you're muted.
Thank you. Was there anything on the flying creature?
Oh yeah, make an investigation check.
No.
Not that you can find it.
Okay.
It doesn't have any pouches or pockets or anything. It looks like the only thing you notice is that it was wounded, probably a few days ago, and it looks like it's healed over. There's still a bit of scabbing, like it's been cut or bludgeoned or something. You can't quite tell, but it's been hurt before it had an encounter with you.
Okay, but she doesn't think much of that and just
Yeah.
trots on over.
Okay, Wiley, you're going with as well.
Wiley's gonna stay here and fix the lean-to. She
Okay,
wants
sure.
to prepare because she assumes that we're probably just gonna rest here because we've been going for so long. She's just gonna fix it up and make room for everybody.
Okay. Paul actually just sits down with you, and he's going through his pouch, and he's just taking inventory. Pulls out a little journal, and he opens it up and just starts writing in it as he starts taking an inventory. He's got a little ledger that he keeps information of all these different names and types. He's writing in a language you don't understand, though. It's very foreign to you. And he kind of whistles.
Just kind of looks over his shoulder,
Yes,
inquisitively.
this is my mushroom book. I keep all the information that I learned about mushrooms in this book. It's quite interesting. In fact, perhaps if we spend some time together, I can teach you a little about the things that I've learned about the mushrooms wherever we are now. I really don't know where we are, but it's a very interesting place. Very hot. Not a big fan of that, but the mushrooms here are to die for.
I can tell you where we are. We're on the island of Cholt.
It's quite far from my home. Interesting. I've always wanted to come here, but not in the way that I came here. That was a little distasteful.
Do we know if we're on the island of Cholt or we were on a boat and we got stranded? We could be on an island in between Cholt and the mainland.
Now you're nitpicking.
Well, wherever we are, it's too hot, but the mushrooms are great.
Hey, Paul, what was the name of that one mushroom we shared earlier? I really liked that one.
That was a stogie.
Stogie.
A stogie mushroom, quite rare. I've only had them once or twice in my life, and they aren't native to the regions that I come from. Usually have to have them imported for my spiritual experiences, you see.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing such a rare mushroom with me. I'm honored.
I can tell that you seem a little bit more confident. I hope that you learned a little bit of something on your journey.
Of course. Maybe we should let these other fine people in our party go figure out what the bears.
Yes.
That bear scene. We'll chill here though, Paul.
I like the sounds of that. I've worked very hard to get here, so I'm going to rest and relax a little bit.
Agreed.
So the three of you wander off in the direction of this scent. Britt, you can make a survival check.
With advantage because I'm still a bear.
I will give you advantage, because you're following a scent. So you track it for probably about 300 to 400 feet away, further into the jungle, and the smell gets stronger. At about 100 feet, that's when both Langus and Yori start to smell it too. It's a really it's a decay. It's a body. It's for sure a body.
No, it's not the first time we've seen a dead body. And being stranded on an island, we kind of need whatever we can get.
I'm not eating a dead body.
I'm saying we dig it up or we find it. We loot. And
Paul, is this the druid?
maybe.
You want to get closer?
Yeah.
All right.
We could send Paul forward.
No, stop.
All right.
Paul's back at the lean-to.
Let's go get Paul. Bring him over.
We're already here. It's just a dead body.
All right.
He's not gonna do anything. Actually, never mind. On Charlie, we don't know. We don't. We got a bear, and we have weapons. It's there.
All right. Okay. Fine.
Lalo, lead the way.
All right. In bear form, you continue to wander towards this really strong smell. And eventually, as you come, you can just see it's just, again, a little bit of an incline, and just almost like they fell face first against the tree and then slid down the side of it. There's a body, a human male body. Looks like he probably was around his 50s. He's got multiple puncture wounds in his back, like almost like small explosions went off in his flesh. And he's just laying face down. His arm is over a rock, and he's partially draped up against the tree. And he's wearing, it looks like he's definitely wearing like hiking clothes, like he's planned to be out in the jungle. And that's all you can see from this distance. You're about 30 feet away.
What he has on his person. If he has any like hardtack or water containers.
So you're gonna go search him?
Yeah.
All right. So you walk up to him, to his body, and from his back you can't see anything, but you see he does have like a shoulder bag that's probably underneath him, like between his stomach and the ground. You can make an investigation check.
Totally. It's a dead body. All right, that's it.
The smell it's atrocious. There's definitely a lot of rot happening here, and the smell is almost unbearable. As you try to pick him up, you kind of hear this like gassy smell, like you hear like a squeak and then a smell.
Ew.
And you can't.
Death farts.
Unbearable or perfectly bearable.
Yeah.
I know. Lolu, is this one of your people?
Can I tell who this person is at all?
I mean, you could try to, like, you guys are all standing there. His face is down kind of in the mud and in the...
I'll go over there and like I'll sort of try and flip him over.
All right. So you flip him over, and it's not someone you recognize. He's not wearing any kind of emblems or anything. He's wearing, he's got enough gear. Like now that you flip it over, his bag looks like it probably, when he got hit, flipped over to his front. It is a traveling bag. It's got like supplies in it. It's got some like a few trail rations, probably enough for about 4 days for one person. And he's got a water skin, which is half full. And the main thing that you find is a small black journal that has just on the front of it a very small symbol embossed in silver and gold. And this is what you see. That is embossed on the front of it.
Do I know what that is?
You can make what would this be? What is like
history?
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's usually like symbols and like lore.
Yeah. Let's say that.
Okay. Yeah, I pick it up with my bare paw and like very like gingerly I'm holding this tiny notebook in my giant claw looking at it. But
don't recognize the symbol.
No.
What have you found here, Lolu? I take it out of her paw and gently like flip through a few of the pages.
So you open up the book and you notice as she takes the book out of the bag with her giant bear, I don't know how that happened, but she did. There's also another larger book underneath, and it's a heavy tome. Even just like, it doesn't have any symbols on it. It does have some arcane writing on the front of it. Just even opening it up, you're like, this is definitely a spell book. But this book, flipping through it, it's written in a language you have no clue what this is. Yora, you can make a perception check.
Okay. Ooh,
you take a look over his shoulder. That is a written form of Thieves' Cant.
I didn't know it was in written form. Oh, that's awesome. Yora gets a little giddy and takes the book. Just doesn't even ask for it. Just takes the book from Lingus's hand.
Excuse me.
Flipping through it, can she like get a basic understanding without like reading in detail what this is?
Yeah, this is the travel journal of whoever this person is. There's no name written here, but it looks like he has been traveling. You find out you are still in Chult. That's the first thing that you know. Okay. whoever this person is was out here looking for someone named Artis Cimber.
Artis Cimber.
And he came out here and spoke with a druid named Nehemiah. And Nehemiah was supposed to be able to show him through the jungle to find this Artis Cimber, at least to be a guide. But he journaled that they stayed at the shelter for a couple of days once they made contact. And it seems like he started to have a weird distrust for this druid named Nehemiah. He makes notes about Nehemiah was starting to talk while he was sleeping in a language he didn't understand, but was acting very peculiar. And after a couple of days, their kind of relationship frayed to the point where it turned into an argument. And it seems like he accused Nehemiah of slowly poisoning him, because he does note in his journal that he was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, that he was slowly poisoning him. And he started to hallucinate a lot. He said he was seeing things that he couldn't quantify and he couldn't logically explain. And he was trying to make a note of the times of sickness. He thought he was being poisoned, and he thinks that spring is actually a poison well that he was drinking out of, and that this druid actually had his own real spring that he would supply himself with water. But that one that's near his shelter is the one that he drank out of, was making him really, really sick. He believed that Nehemiah was doing experiments on him to somehow make him part of nature. He couldn't explain, he couldn't put things together. And that's when he attacked him. It turned into this big battle. He managed to write, he's like, that's it. I'm taking out this guy. I'm going to figure it out for myself. I'm leaving him behind. I've had enough of this Nehemiah. And that's clear that's probably what the battle came out of.
And those are the last few entries. Is there anything about a satyr named Paul or Satyr?
There's nothing here about a satyr. Nope. Okay.
Just in case, who knows? There's a demon, disguised as a two-hooved feature. Okay. So, I tell I recant to my friends that are right there what I just read, but neither of the names seem familiar to me. I don't know if Lalu or Langus recognize the two characters that I mentioned. Probably not.
No.
I guess.
I don't think so.
Lalu, do you have his bag?
Yeah.
So let's go back to Paul and see if he can make heads or tails of this.
I squeeze this backpack onto my bare body. All
right. It's coming apart at the seams and you put it around your chest.
You're walking on two legs because bears can do that.
All right, so you guys head back.
Yeah.
Finding some, like I said, 4 trail rations, a half full water skin, and 2 books, one a journal and one his spell book. And you're back in a few minutes joining together. And Paul's currently sitting there and he's counting mushrooms and he's looking in his journal and he is telling stories to Wiley about his home and how the woods that he comes from are much cooler, and you get the 4 seasons there and the beautiful how beautiful the Deepingdale is when there's a first fresh fall of snow, and he's just kind of lamenting about home and hoping that he can get back there someday. And that's when you guys return.
Hi guys, what was it?
We found a dead body. It's dead, but not Cholt dead where it attacks us, dead. So there was a book in here. Paul, how long were you with the druid before he passed?
I basically popped into existence here and then I ran away.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't know anything, and I don't remember the names. I'm sorry.
The only name you know is Nehemiah. The druid. Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was the name of the wizard that was experimenting. Oh, just a wizard.
The wizard basically was here for help from the druid, and the druid was secretly experimenting on the wizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so then I don't have the name of the wizard, just only the druid.
No.
Okay. No. That druid that summoned you, did he seem like a nice guy? Did he?
Well, I mean, he was pretty badly hurt when I showed up here. It looked like he had probably been stabbed a few times. I saw him. He saw me. I knew what he wanted from me. Like I said, my friends tapped into them before, but I wasn't going to be part of it, and I left. That's all I know about him. He was
Who was
wounded.
attacking him? What did they look? It was the flying creatures, or
Yes, those two nasty creatures and the wizard seem to be trying to kill the druid.
okay.
So you guys found the wizard dead, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The wizard
Someone dead.
was apparently being used by the druid and experimented on. And the wizard had enough of it and went to fight. So I wonder if the wizard summoned those creatures and they were stuck here like you, Paul?
Oh, it's quite possible.
Kind of feel bad now for killing them. But I guess they were trying to kill us.
Talk to them first.
Yeah, well,
They did strike first.
They kind of only flew over. They didn't actually strike. I just kind of.
It's quite possible they were coming over to say hello.
Clarence, so maybe we should have one of the funerals for Clarence and his friend.
I have the feeling, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, Wiley, but I have the feeling that we all are in need of a severe reality check here. We're in the jungles of Jolt, and flying monsters with spiked barbs on their tails came by. They were probably threatening. We should probably fight first and ask questions later. This druid was clearly running weird tests on the wizard. And this satyr has appeared out of nowhere, but wasn't under the control of the druid.
Oh, why did you use those air quotes?
Yeah, Langus, I think you're being a little bit of a turd here.
Whoa. Language.
Fight first and ask questions later is never something I'm going to be okay with, just so you know.
Actually, I kind of agree with him on that. Sometimes words can get you confused and people can convince you of things that you didn't actually believe beforehand,
or they could have been two very useful friends who knew their way around here.
Well, Wiley, they were pretty vicious. They did chase me quite a lot, and they were cackling and being kind of fiendish. I do think that they could have brought some harm to us.
In this instance, I am not too upset about it, but as a rule, let's not fight first and ask questions later.
Well, yes, as a member of the party, I agree with Wiley.
Thank you.
I roll my enormous bear eyes.
Wiley, there was that drum you wanted. I found one back over there by the body. Would you care for me to show you to it?
I didn't want a drum.
No, earlier in the boat, you were talking about a drum. Come with me, over here.
No, that's okay. I mean, this Paul guy's he could have killed me. He gave me things to eat, and we were all okay. But Paul, did you drink from this spring at all?
I have not, but it looks mighty tasty. I may do so.
No. The wizard, quite possibly crazy, but potentially not, says that the well is poisoned. Now, Lalu, would you be able to check for poison? Oh, but we don't have any of a poison kit or anything on us, do we?
No.
Okay.
Someone have a detect poison spell?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I think druids have access to them, but
Yeah, I didn't prepare one.
While you guys wait, Wiley says, so you found the wizard and we killed the big demon mosquitoes. So this druid, the one that brought Paul here, might still be around, right? And you said he was being really mean to the wizard, secretly? We should probably find him.
We should at least find him.
Yeah.
Get some answers. Hopefully the answer to how do we get out of here.
Yeah. And
but we're losing
experiments on
daylight.
People, but
it started to get nighttime, right?
yeah.
I guess nighttime doesn't really matter. Oh, but we don't have a source of light.
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to try and put this hut back together, or at least for tonight.
Yeah.
And Legos will go over there and try and at least stack it in some form of shelter, even if it's not a proper hut.
I already did that, Lingus. Don't worry about it. And I like show off all my
I
beautiful.
look over to the hut.
Sure enough, she's reformed most of it.
And I say, "Hey, Paul, I hear you can start fires with some mushrooms."
That is true. There are actually quite a few different types of mushrooms that you can use. They actually burn for quite a long time. You know, back several thousand years ago.
I'm so annoyed by this. I turn back into myself and I'm like, I can produce flames.
Right.
Oh, well, that's more useful then.
That's very.
Sorry. Well, I'm gonna go get some branches. Make a fire.
All right, so you guys get some fire. You get into the shelter. Do you want to eat? There's 4 trail rations, and there's still some of that fruit left. What do you want to do?
Are we still good from the fruit? Wasn't that supposed to last us a whole day?
I mean, you marched for over half a day to get here, and you've had a combat, so I'd say you're probably hungry. Yeah.
Okay. Then
I want to try one of the big fruit things that Lalu found.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I give Wiley the other half of
right.
what I gave Yori earlier.
Okay.
And then I take another one and break it in half and offer it to Langus. And then I look at it and consider it. And then I I offer it to Paul, the other.
Oh, thank you so much. But you know what? I think I'll be okay. None of you seem that interested in the mushrooms that I'm offering you, so I will gladly partake of that tonight. And you have that wonderful fruit.
Oh,
Thank you,
actually,
Lalu.
I'll have some of the mushrooms.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah. I mean,
They're so
all
good.
the Vegas can share one, and I mean.
Well, I mean, that's very exciting to me. Yes, of course. I'm so happy that you're willing to give it a try. Always try new things. I say, be brave, be bold.
Agreed.
I mean, back from when I was a kid, my parents, they would go scrounging all out for mushrooms and stuff, and so I feel like maybe I'll like it. I don't know.
I mean, many halflings that I know in the Deepingdale are also mushroomers. Quite a lot of actually legendary mushroomers that are halflings that come from my lands.
Oh, okay.
So he reaches into his pocket and produces the same one that he gave to Wiley earlier in the day.
Okay.
This should fill you up through the night. And as I said, you'll have a nice little quiet journey into the ether and your belly will be full. It'll be an amazing experience. But as I told Wiley, I'd really like you to think inwardly about things in your life that you aren't happy with, that you feel are maybe things that you could improve.
Okay.
Mushrooms are a great tool for neurogenesis where you can create new pathways in your brain till you understand
I'm hungry.
Oh, very well. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, so you take them, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
All right. So you take them and you kind of sit back and your stomach feels a little bit weird. Paul's looking at you and the shape around him starting to like warp a little bit. So you can see 2 Pauls and he leans forward and he's like, uh-oh.
And it just goes off.
And all of a sudden you feel very sick to your stomach. And as you kind of just fall into the foliage, you vomit. You are still going to be hungry.
Or to the side?
To the side.
Okay.
You are still going to be hungry in the morning, but you go into a nice, quiet place of contemplation. What is it that you think about as you go into this wonderful, self-reflective space?
I think it's inconsistency. I think for the last 6 years of Yori's life, nothing's ever been consistent for her. Everything keeps drastically changing every few months from her previous adventure to the next, and she really can't grasp anything. So maybe she's quite frustrated at that nothing really ever seems to work out fully. Anytime.
Does she think it's luck or is it her own choices?
She thinks it's luck. I think she would be a bit stubborn in this sense and think that she just she can't catch a break, right? But it's obviously beyond that. And she has some kind of stubbornness to really refuse any kind of internal like blame.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of you settle in for the night. You have some food. You take some rations, and it's actually quite nice out here. You can just kind of hear the flora and the fauna of the jungle around you, and there's the trees kind of sway in the wind. And despite the fact that there is a very still oppressive heat, you find kind of calm and peace tonight as Paul kind of he finally goes quiet after he has his meal. And you sleep through the night without really much incident. Is anyone taking watch, by the way?
Yeah, I think we're going to take watches here.
Okay.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, I volunteer to take first watch.
I'll take second watch then.
I'm going to make an assumption that Yori is not feeling well enough to take watch.
Yeah, Yori's out for the night.
I'll do if we still need watch after Langus. Yeah.
Okay.
Wiley.
Yeah, just go to sleep, Wiley. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Riley, it's okay.
So who's taking? We'll split it into three. Who's taking the first one?
So I'm taking first watch, and while I am on my first watch, I start digging. I turn back into a bear, and I start digging a pretty big hole.
So
I did the hole.
You're a bit distracted.
I guess so.
Make a perception roll
I'm kind of focused on the hole.
with a disadvantage.
Oh.
Oh God.
No.
All right, so Lala, you dig for a while, and by the end of your shift, who's up next? Langus? Langus, you just take a torch from the fire and hold it up to give yourself a bit of illumination around you. By the time you guys swap places, it looks like Lalu's dug a fairly deep hole. What are you digging that hole for exactly?
Well, I don't want to go rest. I want to stay awake.
Yeah.
Wake Langus up and tell him that the hole has been dug.
I nod knowingly and go over towards where Paul is sleeping.
Okay.
And with my 16 strength, I want to put a hand over his mouth and like grab him and pick him up in my arms and start walking over to this hole.
Okay, I will give you an advantage on your athletics check to subdue him.
Okay, thank you. 24.
Oh, man.
All right, so everyone else who's well, actually, I guess Wiley's the only person who's sleeping right now. You can make a perception roll at a disadvantage because he did it so quickly.
Oh, wow. I actually did better with a disadvantage.
Wiley, you roll as well.
Oh, sorry. Did you say perception?
Yeah, at a disadvantage as well, actually.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Yori, you kind of, something's like, you're having this weird trip and you hear like a, and you look up and you see this kind of weird bear sitting there with a giant top hat and a monocle, and he's just going.
Or he starts nodding along. Like,
It's wearing a backpack?
Yeah.
And it's not Lalu, it's a different bear, but he seems pretty cool.
You're making sense, man.
Wiley, you sleep through all of it. So Langus, you look over and you see Yori sign up, but she's doing something. You're not sure what's going on there. You drag him towards the hole, and he's kind of fighting you, and he's like,
I toss his legs in and motion to Lalu to start burying him in the hole. Up to
I
his
just
neck.
start burying him.
okay, so you
the
start
dirt in the
to
hole.
bury him. Both of you guys can make a perception check at a disadvantage because you are currently engaged in something else.
Something very important. 8.
6.
Yori,
Yes.
as you're sitting there, the bear slowly just kind of recedes into the ground, and the forest slowly starts to return to you a little bit, and you become immediately aware that this land, this jungle, this area of it in particular, it's not really a jungle. This is something living. And you get the sense that that jungle is starting to close in as all the branches and leaves and all the foliage, it feels like it starts to curve around you and slowly come down on you as though it's going to crush you. You both, Langus and Lalu, don't see anything, but rather you hear, "What are you doing in my shelter?" And that is where we're going to end this week's episode
Oh my god!
of Risen.
Holy poops.
All right. So, yeah, thanks everyone for showing up again. Episode 2.
Yes.
By the way, if you want to watch a very interesting documentary or interview with a man named Paul Stamets, check out the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm in love with this mushroom, man.
It is so good.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
actually seen it. I didn't know that Curtis was going to do this, and I was like, ah! But yeah, you all should definitely watch it. It's so interesting.
All right, so let's go around. Britt, over to you.
Yeah. Hey guys, me, Britt. Thanks for watching and hanging out. It's fun as always. I believe we're back next week. So while you're all on Thanksgiving break, we'll catch you then. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. And if you are into gaming in Korea, I'll be at the Bexco Convention Center in about 15 minutes, and our show starts at 12:30 on /Twitch. So, yeah. Danny.
Hi, I'm at Danny Hartel on all the things, and I am in the middle of finishing all of the C-Team costumes for the Acking C-Team game that is going to be at Unplugged this weekend. So tune into that. I don't remember what time the game is, but my costumes will be there, and it's going to be so cool, and I'm so excited because I get to do all their hair and makeup and costumes and stuff. So also, if you're going to be at Unplugged, please come find me. I want to meet you. Yeah. Hey, Neil. Talk.
Hi, I'm Neil. I just do stuff on my channel all the time. That's about it. Kelly?
What's your channel, Neil?
Koivu.
Okay. I am Kelly Link. I actually don't do too much stuff on my channel, but I do host a lot of video game events. I'll be hosting the World Championships for Summoners War, which is coming up, as well as a few other events coming up in the following weeks, but I can't talk about it just yet. So follow me on Twitter, which is at HelloKellyLink, for all the cool stuff that I'll be doing coming up. Curtis, how's your life going, man?
Well, I managed to only have a nasty cough once. I managed to mute the really bad one, so I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be back next week. I am Curtis Weeb. I am the DM of this game. I'm also known as a writer. I write a comic book series called Rat Queens. Next week is the first issue of our new arc called The Giant Colossal Nothing. And you can check that out in stores, comic book stores. And yeah, we'll be back next week, and we hope to see you guys then. Until then, keep fit and have fun.
Yeah, thanks, Curtis. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.